By 331 BCE, the Persian Empire, the largest and most powerful in the known world, faced an existential challenge from Alexander the Great of Macedon. Alexander, having inherited his father Philip II's professional army and vision of conquest, embarked on a campaign that would dismantle the Achaemenid dynasty piece by piece. His military achievements at Granicus and Issus had already destabilized Persian control in Asia Minor and the Levant, forcing Darius III into a series of defensive postures. Darius, recognizing the growing threat to his empire, sought to regroup and mount a decisive counterattack. He summoned a vast army from across the empire, amassing a force that included Persian infantry, elite immortals, cavalry contingents, and exotic war units like scythe chariots and war elephants. This diverse force reflected the sheer scale of his empire, stretching from the Indus Valley to the Mediterranean, but also revealed its inherent weaknesses, logistical challenges, communication difficulties, and a lack of unified training and command. Alexander's objectives were clear: the complete destruction of Persian power and the consolidation of his rule over its vast territories. Darius aimed to exploit his numerical superiority and regain his prestige, which had been undermined after his defeat at Issus. The wide, open plains of Gaugamela, near modern-day Erbil in Iraq, were chosen as the battlefield, a location that Darius believed would maximize the effectiveness of his cavalry and chariots. The stakes were monumental. For Darius, the battle represented his last opportunity to stop the Macedonian advance and preserve the integrity of the empire. For Alexander, it was the chance to bring the Persian Empire under his control, asserting dominance not only through military conquest but also through the symbolic defeat of the greatest monarch of the age. The Battle of Gaugamela brought together two fundamentally different military systems, each representing the strengths and weaknesses of their respective civilizations. On one side stood Alexander the Great's Macedonian army, a force of approximately 47,000 soldiers. Comprising a mix of Macedonians, Greeks, and allied contingents, it was a smaller yet highly disciplined and professional army. The Macedonian phalanx, a cornerstone of this force, was equipped with sarissas, long spears that created a bristling wall of defense and attack. Supporting the phalanx were the elite companion cavalry, personally led by Alexander. These mounted units were the hammer to the phalanx's anvil, capable of rapid and decisive strikes. Alexander's forces also included skilled light infantry, such as the Agrianian javelin throwers, and archers who provided flexibility and adaptability in battle. Every unit operated as part of a cohesive whole, trained to respond to Alexander's commands with precision. The Macedonian army's hallmark was its ability to execute complex maneuvers under battlefield conditions, a testament to the rigorous training instilled by Philip II and perfected by Alexander. Opposing them was Darius III's Persian army, which dwarfed the Macedonian force with an estimated 100,000 to 250,000 soldiers. This massive host reflected the vast diversity of the Achaemenid Empire, including Persian immortals, Bactrian cavalry, Indian war elephants, and contingents from across the empire's territories. The Persian army's core strength lay in its cavalry, drawn from regions renowned for producing exceptional horsemen, such as Bactria and Media. These units offered mobility and the ability to outflank opponents, which Darius hoped would overwhelm Alexander's smaller force. Darius also fielded scythe chariots, designed to tear through infantry formations with their razor-sharp blades attached to the wheels. Additionally, the Persians deployed war elephants, whose sheer size and presence were intended to intimidate and disrupt enemy lines. However, while the Persian army's size and diversity showcased the empire's vast resources, it also revealed significant weaknesses. The various contingents often lacked cohesion, with differences in language, tactics, and equipment creating logistical and operational challenges. The contrast in command styles was stark. Alexander operated as a hands-on leader, directing his army from the front lines and adjusting his strategy in real time. Darius, by contrast, relied on a more traditional and hierarchical command structure, often directing the battle from a distance. This difference would prove critical, as Alexander's ability to exploit opportunities and adapt his tactics would be decisive in countering the sheer scale of the Persian force. The Battle of Gaugamela would ultimately test the limits of these two military systems, revealing the strengths and vulnerabilities of each. The aftermath of the Battle of Gaugamela reshaped the political and cultural landscape of the ancient world. Alexander's victory marked the collapse of the Achaemenid Empire as a centralized power, opening the gates to its capitals and solidifying Alexander's claim as its rightful ruler. Darius III fled the battlefield in disarray, abandoning his army and imperial authority. His flight symbolized the fracturing of Persian resistance. Over the following months, Darius attempted to rally his remaining forces, but his satraps, sensing the inevitability of Alexander's triumph, turned against him. He was eventually betrayed and assassinated by one of his own governors, Bessus, bringing an end to his reign. For Alexander, the victory at Gaugamela was not just a military success but also a political watershed. He entered Babylon as a liberator rather than a conqueror, respecting local customs and religious practices to win the favor of his new subjects. From there, he seized Susa and Persepolis, the ceremonial heart of the empire. The capture of these cities, along with their immense wealth, bolstered his resources and solidified his dominance. Culturally, the aftermath of Gaugamela marked the beginning of a significant transformation. Alexander initiated policies of fusion, blending Greek and Persian traditions in an attempt to unify his diverse empire. This included adopting Persian customs, encouraging intermarriage between Macedonians and Persians, and integrating Persian soldiers into his army. While controversial among his Macedonian followers, these efforts reflected Alexander's ambition to forge a new, multicultural imperial identity. Strategically, the battle eliminated Persia as a rival power, allowing Alexander to push further east unchallenged by a unified enemy. His subsequent campaigns into Central Asia and India expanded his empire to unprecedented dimensions. However, the logistical and administrative demands of ruling such a vast territory foreshadowed the challenges that would arise after Alexander's death. The broader consequences of Gaugamela extended well beyond Alexander's lifetime. The fusion of Greek and Eastern cultures during his reign laid the groundwork for the Hellenistic Age, a period marked by significant advancements in art, science, and philosophy. Cities founded by Alexander, such as Alexandria in Egypt, became centers of cultural and intellectual exchange. The battle's immediate aftermath was one of triumph for Alexander, but also one of transformation for the ancient world, as the Greek and Persian spheres became intricately intertwined, shaping the course of history for centuries to come. We'd love to hear your thoughts on possible future topics. What areas of human evolution would you like to explore next? Leave your suggestions in the comments, and let's keep the conversation going. As always, our references and further reading are listed in the description below if you'd like to dive deeper into the subject. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. And do not forget, subscribe to the knowledge.